Hello, everybody. Back again with another commentary. This time on the Netflix animated reboot of Good Times. I am sure you have seen all the million reviews of this TV show that just dropped about a week and a half ago. Um, Most of them negative. I'm not going to pile on. Well, maybe I'll pile on a little bit. But I also wanted to discuss the positives that came out of this animated reboot, um, because there are some great positives. But first, just to kind of recap, what everyone else is saying. And again, I'm not going to put any names on blast because you can see a million videos that have done that. But basically, this is just a animated reboot of the iconic show Good Times from the '70s. Um, this iteration is the third generation of the Evans family, still living in the projects. So that right there is like they're back in the ghetto. If I'm not mistaken, because I'm sure I'm based on a lot of the reviews I've seen, a lot of people weren't familiar with the show because it was before their time. But I am a baby of the '70s, so I was there when it came out. And if I'm not mistaken, they actually got out of the hood at the end of when the show ended. But now they are back in the ghetto in the same apartment. And that, first of all, that right there is like, why are you putting them back in the ghetto? I'm like, you couldn't have any kind of positive tones. Like, okay, maybe they're now own the last project in Chicago, and now they're having to manage the building and deal with a new generation of colorful characters. But no, you have the same family 3 generations later back in the ghetto. So my question is this funny? I mean, who's laughing at this? Is Hollywood laughing at us? Does Hollywood expect us to laugh at ourselves, being poor and back in the ghetto? And again, as it's mentioned in a ton of other videos. You have every bad stereotype since D.W. Griffith's Birth of a Nation. You know, and you got this family back in the ghetto. You got poverty. You got these uh, people who are dumb. You got people passed out in the streets. You got roaches. It's just I don't understand. Why you would put this out there. I mean, images matter, and like I said, we're just tired of seeing just these terrible stereotypes of us and passed off as comedy. And it's just like everyone's stupid, everyone's poor, and like we're supposed to laugh at ourselves in this show. Um, and it's just the biggest, well, I won't say the biggest, but one of the biggest insults is one of the characters is a drug dealing baby. When in the history of television and Black Jesus have you ever seen a drug dealing baby as a character on a TV show? How is that funny? Who's laughing at that? Why would you even put that in there? It feels like, to me, there was an iconic joke about from Dave Chappelle. I think it was from Killing Me Softly, his stand up, about the drug dealing baby on the corner, which is a funny joke and an iconic joke, but it's a joke. And it feels like in the writers' room, they just straight ripped that off from that joke. And let's put this in the show. And it'll be funny because it was a funny joke. Um, Again, images matter. I don't want to see that. Drug dealing baby. The father in the show kicks the baby out because he's selling drugs. How is that relevant or funny or progressive or uplifting in 2024? Explain that to me, please. It's just it's sad actually. And this is I like again. I'm not going to put on blast the people who were responsible for putting the show together, because it's been done in other videos. Um, and you have some people who in the show who are defending it. Now, here's the crazy thing. Um, I kind of have to respect on a certain level people defending this show because we've seen before people come out, actors, filmmakers, whoever come out and defend, or I'm sorry, who trash their project before and after it comes out. I'm like, why would you do that? You're just burning bridges. So I have to give a little, at least on some level, a little respect to people who are trying to defend the show. And this show is hard to defend. It's hard to defend because I mean, you have some themes of family, you have some things coming together, but they're just buried under this mountain of stereotypes and just bad stories and bad writing. It's just, come on, man. In this time and age, you're reverting to this. People are comparing this to the Boondocks, which was a great show. I'm going to compare this to the PJs because the PJs had some troubling stereotypes. You had crackheads and stuff like that. But again, rule number one for comedy, it has to be funny. Because I found myself, I only got past 3 episodes in this show, and the number one rule, it just wasn't funny. I found myself bored at sometimes. Some of the jokes didn't land. So the PJs, I mean, it was a funny show. Again, it has some troubling stereotypes. But again, the PJs came out in 1999, 25 years ago. It's 2024. And you're reverting back to that. I mean, come on. Come on. I mean, again, you have some family themes that try to come out through some of these episodes, but again, it's just if it's buried underneath all this other trash, it's just what's the point? It's hurtful and sad, you know. So and again, it's just on top of that, the animation was very um choppy. It's like I don't know, it definitely wasn't 24 frames per second, it's like maybe 5 frames per second. So it's like, what was the budget for this show? What are the animators doing? And it just the whole thing just falls apart, and it's yeah. So again, I'm not gonna just totally jump on the negative because a million videos have been done with that. So I'm gonna flip the script and talk about the two big positives of this show. One big positive of this is that it kind of shed light or re-highlighted the old iconic show in the 70s. I actually went back and watched it and I and remembered how good the writing was and how good the characters were because they talked about some great issues, not just about poverty, about working hard, about trying to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, about even about child abuse, about gang violence, and they did it in a way that wasn't condescending, it wasn't overt. Here it's just like just throw it in your face, and it's like it's passed off as comedy. But even though the original Good Times show was a sitcom, when they dealt with issues like that, they dealt with it in a respectful manner, not just satire. So again, if you have Peacock TV, the streaming service, check out, and like I said, especially for those who made reviews and haven't even really seen the original Good Times, go check out Good Times because it's a good show. And again, you have a two-parent family who are trying hard to keep their kids off the street, keep them on the straight and narrow. And again, you have some stereotypes in there. I guess one troubling thing was like the whole JJ character. A lot of people um, thought was kind of coonish and buffoonish, but again, that was back in the 70s. And like I said, actors John Amos and Esther Roll, were fighting hard to keep those stereotypes out of the show. Until they eventually left, or I guess John Amos got fired, and Esther Roll eventually left the show. But again, you have a nuclear family. and they were all trying to help themselves get out of the hood, make lives better for themselves. So yeah, so if anything, if any one positive that came out of the show is like, it brought the original show back into the forefront. So go check out that show if you have Peacock or if you can catch it on YouTube or wherever, and you can kind of compare the two to see the differences. Because I'm sure, God bless her soul, I'm sure Esther Roll is probably spinning in her grave if she were to see this. And yeah, so that's the first positive. The second positive is this, that I would implore any Black or any person of color, writer, TV show writer, screenwriter, filmmaker, producer, animator, step up your game, put yourself out there because we can do better than this in 2024. Um, if you're on Facebook, check out the group called Black Animators. It's a group in Facebook. There are some brothers and sisters in there who are animators who are killing it, who are just have some amazing stuff that I wish they would get their shine. So definitely, even if you don't join the group, just check out some of their stuff because we as a culture and as a people are too talented and too loud and too valuable um, to not be putting out positive image. You can have fun. Again, I will never tell any filmmaker, producer what to make or what not to make, but it's 2024. We need to be putting out positive images. You can still be funny. You can still be, you know, edgy. You can still be irreverent um, with your projects and with your comedy and with your writing, with what you produce, without it being a slap in the face to just Black people. It's like, come on, what are you doing? So yeah, those are the two positives I just want to present that it's kind of getting lost in the shuffle of all these negative reviews. Definitely check out the original Good Time show to see what you're missing. And like I said, if you're a writer, if you're a creative, a Black creative or a creative of color, put your stuff out there. Put those positive images out there. Make it funny, and make it thought provoking and provocative, because that's what we need to see. I'm tired of all these negative images that are being passed off as comedy. And again, like I said, we as people, we're not laughing at this type of stuff. We don't think this is funny, you know. So again, that's my review. Everyone have a good day.